Please like and subscribe to the Couch and the Rube YouTube channel. Also, download podcast episodes wherever you get your podcasts. For sponsorship opportunities, email Jason at couchandtherube.com.
What do you get when you cross a know-it-all newspaper columnist with an awkward, unsophisticated everyman?
Yeah. Well, I'm just not sure about that right now.
Welcome to Couch and the Rube.
Welcome to Couch and the Rube, our Friday show, presented by our friends at Firekeepers Casino and Firekeepers Casino and Sportsbook app. Download the app today in time for the Big Ten tournament games, the NCAA tournament starting next week. You'll like the revamped iCasino and Sportsbook if you download the app today, or you can swing down by Daisy's Taproom and Sportsbook at Firekeepers Casino on I-94 and Battle Creek. They've got food specials going on during the NCAA tournament. The casino is right there at your fingertips. Great way to take in the NCAA tournament at Daisy's Taproom and Sportsbook. Our Friday show, also presented by our friends at Front 43 Neighborhood Pub and Cask and Company Kitchen and Bar. You talk about a great place to watch the NCAA tournament, play a little hooky, show up at noon, enjoy the happy hour specials, just take it on into the evening at Cask and Company in Front 43. And if you want to make a reservation, go to caskandcompany.com. Great reservation system, very easy, near the East Lansing border on East Saginaw in Lansing. Jason, how you doing, brother?
Not like sweet the national championship's on. Oh, I can't wait for this. It just happens. I just broke my chair for real. This is not.
Yeah, we don't have enough time for all of that.
People are nuts. I'm not nuts. They're nuts.
Let's go green. Go God.
What's up, buddy? You look excited, ready for a Big Ten tournament.
I am. I'm fired up.
Ready to grind?
Fired up.
Let's go.
I don't mind the Big Ten tournament. People think I hate it. I don't hate it.
You don't?
No, I like conference tournaments. Used
Every
to be
time we talk about it on this show, you talk about how much you despise it, and
I don't like.
So you could understand how listeners would understand.
Correct.
Maybe think that you hate it.
I think where it gets lost. I think people don't understand. I just want them all to admit what it is. It's a great consolation prize. It's an awesome event. It is not the conference championship. And as long as we all understand, I love conference tournaments. I used to love it when I covered the MAC tournament. I'm disappointed a little bit this week that they don't play till Friday night. It kind of ruins your conference tournament experience because instead of like spending, if they played Thursday at noon, for example, you go down Wednesday, you watch all the games Thursday, you watch the games Friday. Instead, I'll be on the road, Friday afternoon, and I'll see a couple games. And what if they lose? Then you're just home Saturday. It's like a normal road game. You don't even get the whole week, the whole experience. So I'm actually disappointed they're not playing earlier in the day.
So you want more Big Ten tournament?
More Big Ten
tournament.
We
had it all wrong.
All wrong.
All right.
Yeah. As long as people understand its place.
Us casuals, people like to say.
Yeah.
You casuals don't know what you're talking about.
That's absolutely.
I'm sure people love when someone says that to them.
Yeah.
Anyway,
you know what else they love?
Betting,
when Wojo needles them on Twitter. We'll get into that a little bit here with the Groovy Donut Twitter questions coming up momentarily. Before we do that, as we do at the end of every week, what we are betting, presented by our friends at Firekeepers Casino and the Firekeepers Casino and Sportsbook app. Jason, are you betting anything this weekend?
I don't know if I should gamble anymore on golf, especially this weekend after this morning, after one hole, my guy Colin Morikawa, who I had at 20-1 and Top American at 10.5-1, withdrew after one hole because he tweaked his back on a practice swing. So I'm going to try to probably, because there goes all of my DK lineups that I did, but I did have, but I heard that some apps are going to refund the money on Morikawa because if he plays a hole, if you WD before you play a hole, obviously you get your bets back. Yeah. Or if you have him in a parlay, they take that leg out and it diminishes the odds on it. But so I'm going to try to find a live bet here with my Colin Morikawa refund. I'm sure at some point this weekend.
I lost money last night. I had money on Toluca versus San Diego FC in the CONCACAF Champions League.
Jesus,
and I thought I had it nailed. And I was Toluca's dominating. Then they're up there's a red card. They score. They're up 1-0. I'm feeling great. And somehow playing 10 men versus 11, San Diego came back and won, and I still think it was a great bet. I don't know what happened.
But was it 2009 like Graham bet confidence or
no? It was like $25. It was not. It was not. I can't do that stuff anymore. That would not be. I'm
sure your tone would be a little different if it was a little higher.
I'd be throwing things in all over the.
You seemed confident on the bet, so I didn't know if that means you juiced the unit number on that one.
No. It was on late. I was working. It was like, all right, I'll do this. We've all been there. It's like, why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
That's most of the Pistons games. Is T going to be home? All right, now I'm going to fire in a single game parlay. And it's going to lose because fucking what's his nuts? Well, Oscar Thompson can't get a steal or something stupid. So, that's the best part about gambling.
That is exactly it. Yeah. Well, if I do have a bet this weekend.
World Baseball Classic, and I watched that game Mexico-Italy last night for the United States to sneak in. Yeah.
I was rooting against them.
Really?
I don't really.
You wanted USA out?
I just don't care about the World Baseball Classic.
It's kind of fun. I mean, it's on.
It's an extra thing. And
I don't know if you have to care. I mean,
it does not fit into my calendar, so I don't really. It's like, all right, what are we doing here? So I don't. Yeah, I'll probably play the Premier League this weekend because it's back, and I love that. I'll maybe play. I've stayed away from the conference tournament stuff, which I advise doing because I already, if I could tell there were 3 or 4 games, if I were to bet them, I would have lost. And so I'm grateful.
But what if you win and then you got a little bankroll going into next week?
There
you got to look at it that way.
I do have a theory that doesn't always play out, and I do think this is one of the reasons that to look at the Big Ten tournament is not the end-all, be-all. One of many reasons. I think if the evidence is overwhelming that the team that plays the day before has the advantage, and it's only if they play one day before. But like you saw, even with who was it who came out playing really well and then kind of shit the bed? But Maryland, right, and against Iowa, and because they have this advantage, they've been on the court, they're loose, and it doesn't always work. But I think if we go out over time, I'm going to try and look back at this at all the games in the Big Ten tournament history. If you look at the teams that played the day before and then play a better seed, they're going to be above 500 against that better seed if they played the day before and the other team didn't play, and that alone is enough to negate some of the Big Ten tournament's a more fair outcome.
You're going to do the research on that? You're going to crush tape?
Well, I would have liked to have done it already for a column.
I mean, they have AI. You could probably.
I can maybe.
Although it's really not good on sports. A lot of the AI stuff is kind of bad on sports.
You can't trust it. I just had some other stuff and deadlines and was unable to do it. So we'll see. But that's what I think would show. And but I do believe also there are times you can take advantage of that. Like, if UCLA. I'm not saying UCLA is going to beat Michigan State. I actually like the.
Are you raising your voice at me?
But I do think if UCLA has played the day before, they will have an advantage early against Michigan State. That's all I'm saying on that court that day. And I think over time.
Yeah, but what if your coach looks like a penis in a suit?
Well, then
does that take away points?
Then you're Mick Cronin. Yeah. That's trouble. That's trouble. Yeah. So it's
Got to take that into account.
It's not great. Do we want to just jump into these groovy donuts?
No, man. Let's go do another 20 minutes on something else.
Yeah, okay.
Dominic up first. Why won't the coaches just effing say it about Dusty? Stop making cryptic jabs in the media, and that includes Tom. If they won't say it, what's their reasoning? They kind of said it with the vote, right? The coaches' vote.
A little bit. Yeah, they clearly don't love him. But I also think, I voted Dusty May second, and I voted Fred Hoiberg first. Fred Hoiberg was really deserving. It wasn't a slight at Dusty May. I had Dusty May 2, Fred Hoiberg 1, Niko Medved 3 on my ballot. I just thought what they've done historically at Nebraska and
But should you take that into account historically what's gone on in Nebraska or a guy for one season did a pretty amazing thing going undefeated on the road?
But who they were last year.
This year.
But who they were this year. They were great this year. Who they were last year to this year, the contrast was greater, is what I think. I'm not saying Dusty May doesn't have some argument for it, but I do think there's something there. And if to ask why coaches won't say it, I think it's because they live in this fraternity of secrecy and bullshit. And sometimes they don't want their own shit out there, too.
And how would it look if you ended up, how do you go about it? Someone in a presser will ask you about Dusty May, and then you go off there? And it's going to be cut up and put in, I just don't know how if you were a coach, how you would make a statement about Dusty May if you're not a fan of his. That doesn't look classless.
And you even see it with coaches. Like you had a coach the other day talk about how a mid-major coach, low-major coach, about how an Auburn assistant had bought a ticket to sit at their game courtside at the conference tournament to recruit their players. Or he said an SEC assistant, and everybody was able to decipher it was an Auburn assistant. Why not just say an Auburn assistant? Why do you have to say why do you have to put all the other teams in there? Like people are so scared to say the names of people, to call people out. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. And I understand that maybe some I don't know. Maybe the circles are too small.
Maybe you have something to hide as well. And
correct.
You don't want to sit there and have any blowback. Throw the whole glass houses thing, and I can But you're right. Especially if you're just saying what school they're from.
Well, let me
give their identity, I guess. I don't know.
Let me throw this out, okay? So let's say Dusty May, people say Brad Underwood was pissed off that Merez Johnson went to Michigan, all right? Say that was the case. This is hypothetical here. And say, and this is seriously hypothetical, but say he thought this was tampering, somebody came in early and put it. What you don't want is Merez Johnson then to say, dude, you couldn't develop me. You had no culture there. That was a miserable freaking year. Why would anybody go there? You know what I mean? You got to be careful. You got to make sure your own shit's in line before you start saying, because he might say, no, I wanted something different than what you were providing. You got to know, I think that's part of the problem too.
Alex James next. And that was a fake. That was just a hypothetical. Okay.
Yeah.
Alex James, which team does MSU most want another shot at this weekend? Minnesota, Nebraska, Wisconsin, or Michigan?
I'm not talking about Michigan.
It's a good question because some people say it's easily Michigan. And while that's probably true, you got to get there. That's an exhausting day. It's an exhausting physical and emotional day to play them again on Sunday and then turn around and play Thursday in Buffalo after 3 games in 3 days. I think the team they lost to, obviously, Minnesota. They lost to Nebraska, lost to Wisconsin. But I think Nebraska is the team on the road they didn't play well against, and I think they'd like to show they can beat Nebraska. Now, Michigan's an obvious choice, but I think Nebraska's up there. The flip side of that is I think they would rather lose to Nebraska than Michigan. So they'd rather lose Saturday than lose Sunday, if that makes any sense.
JB, with longer TV timeouts in the tournament, don't you think Fears should go 40 minutes? I think Izzo could do it, especially with the seed they have.
I think in a game you could ride. If you have to ride him, you have to ride him. You can steal, though. You should be able to steal a little bit of time here and there. The other thing I really would suggest is using a timeout on top of a TV timeout, like seconds after, or using it somewhere else when you think he needs a rest. You have full timeouts. You're risking it toward the end. But I would, if you think the matchup, like it's what are you going to get more out of? Having Fears on the court more during the game or that late timeout? And you gotta know your player, and you gotta know the matchup. So I think that's when it, and then you do it if you need to. If you have to do it, you shouldn't have to do it in the first round. You shouldn't have to do it in the Big Ten tournament. Period. You should not do it in the Big Ten tournament. You do not run in the NCAA tournament. It's a conversation. You do not run Fears ragged this weekend, and this is where
Denim Wojcik time, baby.
I was talking to Solari about this. Like this is where, not to bring up soccer, but the Big Ten tournament is the FA Cup, is what it is. In the FA Cup or in the early rounds, guys rotate, teams rotate players, and they play some subs who don't get to play as much. And as they get late in the tournament, and then they play their best lineup to try and win it. I'm not saying you do that to the extent, but you're not playing Fears more than 32, 33 minutes against UCLA. You're going to try to win the game, but you're going to win the game with some depth. And if you lose the game because you played your depth, then so be it. You do not run him ragged this weekend. You don't want what happened with Cassius Winston, frankly, in 2019, where I thought they ran into a difficult matchup with Texas Tech, and I thought Cassius Winston was out of gas. And you don't want that to happen by the Final Four.
Ryan Schultz next. People throw around the phrase "die trying" on this show a lot, and I don't get it. Izzo said he was only going to get back to making a deep run in this tournament. He made an Elite Eight last year, so didn't he already do it? I refuse to believe that only a Final Four counts as a deep run. My point is, he never said, I'm going to get back to the national championship game or die trying, but I wish he would.
Yeah, I think the goal is a national championship, and he's acknowledged that. But you're right. What he actually said was a deeper run in the tournament. He's sort of become that team. He has become the team he promised. I think there's another step now. I don't think he would say he is satisfied being like an Elite Eight team. Now, that's a good place to be. That's because from an Elite Eight team, you're a lot closer as a program from year to year if you're able to actually keep guys and develop guys and whatnot. But, Yeah, you're right. To me, what he did last year was living up to what he said of die trying. Now, you can argue in terms of what he does in the portal and how he does it, and you can disagree with his philosophy, and his philosophy is not recruiting over guys because he's going to lose them and keeping culture, and he thinks that's created a lot of the winning and adding, pieces here and there. The problem is if you want to win a national title, you're going to have to, at some point, maybe rock the boat with a guy, and we'll see this offseason, for example, if they need to do that at the center position and what that looks like.
It's the American way, except America has gotten soft.
I shower in a muskox next. Have you done that yet? Have you showered in a muskox?
Once accidentally. Yeah. But they also have a swimwear edition. Remember, I wore it in Hawaii, the Maui. So go Muskox.
I forgot about that.
Go muskox.com and just look for their swimwear.
He says,
line.
If you remember that, it's a very look at your pictures all the time. Paint the picture for me. What would die trying look like for next year's MSU men's basketball team?
I think it's convincing everybody to come back. It's doing what it takes financially to get them back, which will be no picnic. It'll be an expensive roster next year.
How expensive?
Well, I don't know, but I would guess Fears is going to have offers in the $2 million range elsewhere. Mm-hmm. So,
done. So next.
So, right there, and if we're talking about the rev share in basketball, it gets like $4 million. That's half, and then you got to go outside. And I'm not saying they should go outside the rev share for this stuff. I'm just saying, just to give an idea of what's easily attainable out there, or what's sort of automatically attainable out there. Cohen Carr will be over $1 million.
Deal.
Okay. My guess is I don't know what the freshmen are making, but I don't think it was the highest offer, but I don't think it's the lowest offer either that are coming in. So those guys are, Jordan Scott and Cam Ward are going to get,
Jordan
upgrades.
Scott a mill, right?
I don't know.
Mill?
I'm just saying it's not going to be a cheap roster to retain, but you got to retain. You have it in. It's so much easier to retain good players than bring them in and find them, right? If you have them, keep them. So the one position, if you got to keep everybody, and then you got to try to. And I don't know that they'll keep everybody. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if, there's going to be a little bit of a glutton there at the guard position. I could, if we'll see what guys want to do, and I would not be surprised they lose a guy or two. But you keep your main dudes, and then you go get a guy who can defend and rebound at a level that allows you to be the team you want to do. And you can't miss on this. Like Indiana didn't have those type of guys this year, and look, they're not going to be in the tournament. You don't want to get the wrong type of big man. I think Jesse McCullough right next year will be offensively a guy who can stretch the floor a little, can do some things for you offensively. Maybe Ethan Taylor will already. I don't know. But what you're going to need a guy is a grown man who can defend and rebound. And that's what you probably have to go out and get.
It'll be a cold day in hell before I give up on Cohen Carr.
Big John Hogg next. Which non-MSU, Michigan, Illinois, Purdue team goes furthest in the big dance? So what, Nebraska?
Okay, non-MSU. Okay, so or it could be Wisconsin, UCLA maybe. Yeah, I would say Wisconsin's interesting because they have the guards, and the guards can get you to the second weekend. I don't know if they have it beyond that. And they also, once they get someplace, can shoot you out.
Wisconsin would just have to get really hot at that time.
Once they get there, yeah. So and they're going to be like a 6 probably, right? So if Wisconsin's like a 6 seed, and it depends what they do a little this weekend maybe, but if Wisconsin's a 6 and they play a 3, they could beat a 3. It's a good. I would probably, but Nebraska too. I know they faded a little bit, but they're still really, really good. But I would put my money on Wisconsin.
Big John Hogg, if you had to live somewhere else, where would it be and why? Like the state, like another state?
Could be anywhere. You could.
I really do like Michigan. I like living here, except for the winter. The winter is complete ass, but I love that I can walk in to pretty much anywhere and buy some weed when I need it.
I actually cut part of what he said. He said the weather was ass, but today it was not ass, so I cut it because it didn't make sense.
The weather today doesn't mean it's not ass. It's still cold out. I mean, we saw some sun here. But
I had not been outside yet. I thought it was 60, so I didn't know. So I cut it. That's sort of one of the mistakes I used to make.
Life of a sports writer.
I
haven't been outdoors in like 4 days.
Yeah, I would live in Maine, I think, is where I'd want to live.
Yeah.
Some Minnesota, maybe. Somewhere up north. I can't live down south. I mean, just the sweat, the back sweat, the body odor. I can't do it. I could not.
Florida.
Yeah, I don't need it. I just
anti-weed there.
Oh, plus, you get every episode of Rescue 911 ever is like a child wandering in the woods in Florida and Georgia, and there's a rattlesnake. You can't.
Rescue 911.
Can you imagine raising a child in Georgia? It's just not safe. It's not safe.
Big John Hogg. Rube, I know you don't keep score, but what would you make on the 17th at Sawgrass with tournament conditions? Oh, God. I probably like Angelo Spagnolo back in 84 when he shot like a 66 when Golf Digest was trying to find the worst golfer, the worst avid golfer. But, man, tournament conditions, I mean, with all the people there, it's like 147 yards, which I'm decent at. I don't know. Probably like a 15 around there, right? I'd hit a couple in the water.
I think the key to
I'd do that tin cup thing where like, give me another ball.
Wouldn't the key be not being embarrassed? Because I think the more you got embarrassed and struggled, the worse it would get. Like the key would be to keep your head, and that would be
right. But you'd have to remember, like all the people watching you would probably do the same thing. So I don't know. But I just the magnitude when I look at that and my anxiety kicks in, I would have to be on some sort of Valium or something because just looking out there and seeing all of those people, it's like, man, hit a golf shot.
I tell you this,
it's amazing. Those guys are crazy.
If you're ever out there and you need to just relax. Eat a groovy donut. The second before you take your swing, it'll put you in your happy place.
I thought we got another weed sponsor for a second.
No, that would probably help first.
Oh.
By the way, some really cool stuff at Groovy Donuts right now this weekend. Guinness chocolate cake donuts, Thursday through Sunday. They look unbelievable. The photo of these looks just amazing. Go to groovydonuts.com. Place your order today. Also, blueberry pie fritter. I mean, just they got St. Patrick's Day hubcaps if you want those for like a St. Patrick's Day party. If you're showing up at a St. Patrick's Day party, bring Groovy Donuts, especially if your personality sucks. I'm telling you right now, people will want you there. They'll remember you're there. They'll want to invite you again. So do it anyway, but if your personality sucks, groovydonuts.com. Place your order today. 2 locations, Lake Lansing Road in East Lansing, and also in Williamston, 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. Thursday through Sunday.
Ryan Rockwell next. Is Jason to pharmacist as Graham is to gay guys and stairs? Should I be worried? Also, you guys are the best. Could have just sent my Shake Shack gift card buried in an envelope, but instead you put it in a card. Made my day with that Hallmark-esque touch.
That's what we do here.
That's all Couch, though. He sent those out. What did you do? Send them in like a little card or what? Like
I sent really creepy, inappropriate messages.
Oh, good. Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Yeah, no, I just sent nice little messages.
This guy. So, yeah. Look at this guy. By the way, I never pushed a pharmacist down the stairs. I just saw one at Rite Aid that I thought was going to be a problem, and then he ended up getting murdered, so I didn't really do anything to the guy. But
yeah. And for the record, for legal purposes, I didn't push anybody down any stairs. So
you just killed him.
I didn't.
You didn't.
Yeah,
no. He did away with not pushing him down the stairs,
he did
but
die.
You are a murderer.
He did die. I was nowhere near there.
It's
and it was
crazy that you killed a guy.
I did not. Yeah.
Andrew Gauthier, your thoughts on the Lions' move so far? I love the Pacheco signing. Offensive line solid. My biggest loser so far is letting Raymond go. Yeah, going to the Bears kind of blows, but Pacheco, I mean, injury-prone guy, broke his fibula 2 years ago for $1 million. I mean, I know he has the name.
Good price.
Yeah.
If he's got something left.
But a lot of these guys, they have that price for a reason.
Yep.
You know, they signed some guy from the Bucs.
And there are only a few running backs who actually get paid. You know, it's a tough business for those guys.
But it's a name signing. Like you see Pacheco with Chiefs, former Chiefs guy. You go, oh, all right.
Yep. And then you wonder why they didn't want him and why they wanted Kenneth Walker. You're like,
Yeah.
But Kenneth Walker would have cost a lot more, and you're not going to do that when you're already got.
Yeah, why do that? Why bring in names or something? Yeah. Andrew Gauthier, rank the following: Simpsons, Family Guy, South Park, and why?
And what's your order?
South Park, Family Guy, and Simpsons.
Okay.
And the reason why is Simpsons, I think it's funny, but people that watch The Simpsons are at a different level of comedy than I am. And it's always been known as like the smart guy comedy. And like Sam Simon was always kind of a pompous ass. I mean, rest in peace. But he was a pompous ass. And like those guys, like I'm not saying it's not funny, but then someone was in my life back in the day when I worked at a TV station and he would always quote The Simpsons. And it's just like, I don't watch every episode, dude. Like, what the
Yeah.
But South Park, I should watch more of it. Family Guy's always made me laugh. Anyway, so that order.
They're all fantastic. South Park is the only one of those that I remember like snot coming out of my nose. I was laughing so hard. Yeah. Like just
because they go there.
My God, uncontrollably. So I'll put South Park 1. Simpsons I've watched the most of, but Family Guy is great too. They're all really well done shows.
Yeah. Kurt Wisniewski next. Who will win the Big Ten basketball tournament, and why will it be Purdue?
I can't imagine it being Purdue. I just don't think they have the drive to do it, and I don't think they have the matchup to beat Michigan. Like I don't, and they would have to beat Illinois and beat Michigan, right? So I don't see that happening.
Wow.
I just
Are they
can't.
12-1 to win it all? I mean, is there any odds that are worth?
Michigan is minus odds, I think.
Right.
So yeah, I mean which makes sense. Because you got to think Michigan's in the semis almost automatically, and at that point, they've got to win 2 games. I mean, maybe that's not great value, but if you're betting this a future on the Big Ten, I don't think there's great value because what you have is sort of the super team, right? You have a great team, and I think they're motivated to win it.
Kurt Wisniewski, I read that Caleb Glenn is playing on the practice team. Why can't he play in the big dance? And from Sparty Barb, this week on social media, I saw videos of Caleb Glenn practicing, and he looks pretty good. Is there any chance he sees playing time during the NCAA tournament?
No, because he's. I mean, you can't play in the tournament and redshirt. Like you're not going to give up your whole year of eligibility to play in the tournament, and I don't think he's quite 100% yet either. I mean, he's been practicing, but like if he had gotten hurt in, say, he had played 15 games and wasn't going to be able to redshirt or something, then maybe you'd look at it. But no, you wouldn't play a guy because he's got 2 years left, and if he were to play in the NCAA tournament, he'd have no years left. It's not like football where you can play up to like 4 games or a certain percentage of the season. You can do that early in the year. Like you can play up to like 10 games or 30% or something of the season if you get hurt early. But you can't come play the NCAA tournament and then keep that year of eligibility. Otherwise, they might look at, I don't know if he's quite there, but if that was a different rule, maybe you'd look at, could this guy help you in certain ways in a spot? But he's been on the he's on the practice scout team and they're planning on being a big part of things next year. There's no way he plays.
Steve next. Why do I have so little interest in this year's Big Ten basketball tournament?
Probably because you think Michigan's going to win it. I don't know. It's the games have been okay. They've been interesting enough.
Because Graham Couch has been on this podcast telling you how much it sucks, and then today he comes in and all of a sudden he's like pro Big Ten tournament. I'm like, what is happening?
Well, I'm pro the spectacle. I enjoy it. I enjoy sitting there watching hoops. I like it from a work perspective because it's not a hard thing to cover because you don't have time to write long subscriber big columns after each game because there's like a game 14 hours later, so it's actually a pretty easy thing to cover until Sunday. Sundays are tricky days, but even that you don't have time to write much because it's onto the brackets, right? So I mean, it's like
so it sounds like a writer's dream. You don't have to put out much content.
It can
Sit
be,
back
yeah.
And watch hoops.
Watch hoops, yeah. It's
right.
It's not bad. I mean,
now I see why you like it.
Yeah, I do like it.
That makes sense now. TC Brunzi next. Why have I lost interest in college sports? At least pros have contracts, rules, and union CBA. I would love a super league of just a few schools to circle jerk each other and the rest just bow out and be actual universities again. I'm almost checked out completely.
I don't think you're alone. I mean, I think the ratings say people are still watching, right?
Hoops?
Well, we'll see what this NCAA tournament looks like. I think they will.
I've definitely watched a lot less college hoops than I used to.
Yeah, same here.
I watch Michigan State every game, but
because I find so here's the problem with college hoops today and the inability to build things at most levels. Like there's certain level. Michigan State has been able to have guys stick around and 1 year can feed into the next. But for most teams, especially at the mid-major level and beyond and lower, they're going to turn over 10 guys on the roster this year. It's a whole new year. So once you get to the year and you realize you're not going to win the conference tournament, you're not going to be something great, you're just wasting time. The whole team's gone. You're doing it all over again next year. Every year, once you don't win everything, it's a waste of time. You're not building towards anything. It used to be, man, this team's only 12-8, but they got 3 freshmen. Let's watch them. Let's see what they become. They're all going to be gone. Like you watch, Rutgers should be a fun story right now. They win a game in the Big Ten tournament. Their fans are there supporting Steve Peichel. The whole thing looks like decent vibes. They've won 3 of the last 4, and the one they lost was they shot the lights out at Michigan State at the end. And they got all these young guys. Should be a great story. Well, how many of those dudes are going to be there next year? If not, you're just wasting fucking time. That's the problem, and that's why I watch less. That's why I care less. And that ultimately will hurt the sport. And yeah, you got a lot of national Yahoo fucksticks who like writing about this stuff and say, look at the ratings. It's okay. The things are not okay. They're not okay.
Stupid-looking face.
They are absolutely not okay. And the whole sport, college football and basketball, I believe, long-term are in trouble, but college basketball especially, and the inability to live the dream at the lower levels and the inability to, hang on to players. And I understand some people are like, just buy them all and That's great for me. So you may feel that way, but a lot of people don't. A lot of people feel a lot less connected, and I don't believe it's a long-term path to sustainable fan health.
Lancelot Spartan next. During Izzo's press conference, he said Wojcik doesn't make mistakes and is a good defender. To my untrained eyes, he seems to get beat consistently on the defensive end. Help me understand.
Well, there are two things here. The top guards, almost nobody can stay in front of. Like, that's why you help defense. So what often happens is you have a guy like Wojcik who there's like a scrutiny of, and you're like, somebody got around him again. But you know who they get around? They get around Fears. They get around everybody. But that said, there's no doubt that Izzo exaggerates Denim Wojcik's defensive ability. Like, it's you would think listening to Izzo that this guy's going to play in the NBA next year. He can guard anybody, right? He just and he he's solid enough defensively to be out there. But Izzo's trying to build.
Nuts. They're nuts.
He needs him. He's going to build confidence into the guy, and so he's going to say those things. And it's not like it's his weak point or anything like that. It's not like, they've had worse.
It's the 4-on-5 on offense. I think that's the. I don't think I've ever heard anybody talk defensively about him. It's more of being 4-on-5, scared to shoot.
Kurt Teng's not a better defensive player than Denim Wojcik.
He can't guard Izzo's mom. Am I right?
There you go. So,
hey. Oh, that's it. Clemens Spartan Graham is anyone who actually thinks Little Sanders would be an upgrade over number 10, a non-ball knower.
Yes.
And a casual.
It's not. Yeah. It's just. I'm not saying you're not. It's just wrong. I mean, one guy was a 4-year walk-on, come off the bench in the final seconds guy. Those guys are not Division I players. They're barely Division III players.
But Nick Sanders, his dad's Barry Sanders.
Yes.
And Denham's dad is,
But Denim Wojcik, even if he wasn't a great player at Harvard, was at least a Division I player.
He was smart enough to go to Harvard.
And he was smart enough to go to Harvard. That's true.
Yeah. Chris Eastlick, in what world should Illinois be ahead of Michigan State in any bracket matrix? What do they have that MSU doesn't? Even before you get to the head-to-head result.
Well, hold on. Give me some Hoff real quick here.
I am the passenger.
And that's the taint.
And I ride and I ride.
And that's the taint.
I ride through the city's backside.
They are still the number 1 ranked offense. They lost on the road in overtime to Michigan State. And again, that's nothing. I mean, it's overtime on the road. That's not a loss for Illinois. It's just not. You didn't. That shouldn't be anything that knocks them. They lost in overtime to Wisconsin. They lost to Michigan at home. Michigan State did too. Lost to UCLA in overtime. Yeah, I mean, they do have some good wins, but nothing great. The win at Purdue, Michigan State has. The win at Nebraska is a good win. So that there's that. Even though they lost to Nebraska at home, so they won at Iowa, harder place to play. So maybe there's some metrics out there, but yeah, I'm with you. They beat Tennessee, good win there. Won at Ohio State, so maybe the metrics are showing up just slightly.
Next one from Eastlick. Is this the perfect year to illustrate the expansion of the tourney is pointless?
Yeah, it's great that it's happening when this conversation's happening, because it's absurd that like Indiana is still at all on the bubble, and that Auburn is at all on the bubble, and one of those Auburn's probably going to get in because it's so weak, and we just don't need it. It's just there are lots of logical reasons for lots of things. There are lots of disagreements to be had. There's no reason, and it's a greater chance of it being to the detriment of the sport than there is to being an advantage. And if you're in leadership in college athletics and you think that they should expand the tournament, get the fuck out. Just get out. Get out. Nobody wants you. Nobody needs you. Nobody needs you in a thinking job. Go somewhere where you're just not needed to think, because we just don't need you.
Professor, assuming everyone stays or is healthy, how much do you think MSU will run with the Ward, Carr, Glenn, Scott, Fears lineup next year?
It's a good question. I don't know, because they're going to have, they've got some young guys coming in who are interesting. But you're talking about 3 wings who can play 4, and then 1 who plays the 2. It allows you some good length and versatility. It's a good lineup. It's an interesting lineup, and Ward at the 5. You'll definitely see it at some point, because those are 4 really good players. To what extent, I have no idea.
Professor, if you were MSU, would you rather be a 2 seed and playing out west or a 3 seed and playing closer to home?
I think I'd rather be a 2 seed out west. I think you'd rather be away from the ones. Well, I think you'd rather be a 2 seed. It's hard to say because so many teams have lost now. This felt more concrete a while ago, and it really depends on the matchup. And I don't know that it would matter quite as much as it used to, but it might. You don't want to. I think UConn still has a high ceiling. Although they're not going to be out west if there's a 2. I think you want to be the highest seed. Bottom line, and so if that's
does
out
it really
west,
matter if you're out west? I mean, as far as what, the travel and all that
yeah,
stuff?
the number of fans you have, but you get alums everywhere else. Yeah, once you're out there, you're out there. I don't think
MSU travels pretty well.
It does, although it's made some differences years it's close by. There's just nothing like what would be the closest.
But you'd have to also see the bracket to see what's in there, right? The 2 or the 3 seed of path there.
If you're the 3 seed, the closest thing would be Chicago, and then that's where Michigan is the 1. You're probably not going to be there anyway, but you definitely would. If you're the 3 and Michigan's the 1 there, do you want to be in Chicago with Michigan? I don't know that you do. I think I'd rather be out west.
David Jackson next. Do you think Michigan was the driving force behind the Big Ten letter to the NCAA saying that tampering is okay and not to investigate? And from Spartholomew, now why would the Big Ten go and write a letter to the NCAA asking them to stop investigations for tampering? Surely there aren't once again running for cover for the fighting Larry Ellisons. I mean, cheating scum, right? And from Dan Grafe. So MSU fans really believe the Big Ten sent on the letter about the tampering just to protect Michigan? Everyone is tampering in every sport. Stop crying and making excuses.
A couple things. One, I don't think this is about Michigan. I don't. Not because this is about football, number one. This isn't a Dusty May conversation or anything like that, number one. It is weird. The phrasing of it's strange. Because the Big Ten's not really saying, like, that they want tampering. They're saying that the mechanisms in place are pointless and, they don't punish many people anyway. And so what are we doing? Let's focus on other things. I still think it's a mistake. I still think the threat of an NCAA investigation is better than none. I think the whole letter's a threat, but I don't think Petitti's doing a very good job right now. So it doesn't surprise me that they're doing.
So
this.
It's about football, but they released it during basketball season.
Correct. This is about
without telling you it was about football.
Well, the story says it's about football.
Okay.
It talks about the number of transfers and win. I mean, it's mostly about football. It might be to some degree about hoops, but rival fan bases are going to think everything's about the But yeah, certainly I don't think this is about Michigan. I don't think they're trying to protect Michigan in any sense of this, because of all the stuff that's going on with Michigan football, tampering is not like one of the things that has been talked about. They've got enough, shit going on there, but tampering does not seem like it's it.
David, if Caleb Glenn was healthy and averaging 15 minutes per game, whose minutes would have been reduced?
Well, several people. I mean, Cohen Carr's would have been reduced. Jackson Kohler's would have been reduced. Cam Ward's would have been reduced. Because, even Caleb Glenn would have played more than 15, but he would have played the wing and the 4, right? And so you just look at who's at those spots. He would have been helpful. And I think what would have been interesting is if he had shot the way he did a year ago, and that doesn't always happen year to year, but if he was the shooter they hoped he was, and the shooting he had on the floor, that would have made for some interesting decisions, but also allowed them to be more creative with certain lineups.
Next one from David. If MSU wins on Friday, how important will it be to Izzo to win on Saturday, knowing that it likely means playing Michigan again?
I'm not talking about Michigan.
I think I don't think it's that important. I mean, I'm not saying it's not they don't want to win. I'm just saying, like, I don't think, oh my gosh, Michigan's a game ahead. I think they'd rather lose Saturday than Sunday. Like, if you don't get there, you don't get there. You just don't face them again. And even if you face them, I'm not saying they don't want to beat them. And beating Michigan to win a Big Ten tournament would have meaning. Like, they would put up a banner that said Big Ten tournament champion. It would feel good. I'm not saying it wouldn't. It's just a hard task. And, you're probably more likely to lose to them a third time. And so I don't think there would be pressure on them Saturday to get there. I don't. I think there'd be pressure on them if they got there.
C-Dubs91, why are so many people interested in the MSU basketball roster next year when the season isn't finished yet? Let's wait until the offseason to critique Tom's roster management.
Like, this is my biggest beef, man, right? We
can't talk about next year?
No, in life, we just always don't, even in the middle of it, we're talking about next year. We rarely live in the moment.
Maybe just for a little bit. I mean, come on, there's 7 days in a week.
It's true.
Only so much to talk about. You think about next year sometimes. And
I always feel bad, like, when there's like an NBA champion or a champion, immediately it's like, let's talk about next year. We should have like a one-day moratorium where we only talk about the champion. You know, something like that.
I thought we did.
No, like, everybody's like got their way too early top 25 out like a second afterwards. Like, what was the point of that if we're just not even going to celebrate?
Yeah, but that's not stuff that's in your face. You have to search that out, kind of.
Yeah, do you?
Yeah. If you look on Twitter, it's like my early season, or it's like, okay,
yeah,
you don't have to read it.
It's true, you don't. Yeah, no, it's not. It's human nature. It's not people not being able to live in the present, and it's also, I think, a little bit of people don't think this team has the goods to win it all, and they're hopeful next year's team will, and they can see that path.
C-Dubs91, is this the ultimate weekend to be in Chicago? Big Ten tournament, St. Patrick's Day, and Hamilton all in the same weekend. My credit card's nightmare.
That sounds like a good
weekend.
My
God, that's a Graham Couch hard-on right there.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, man, it has everything for you.
Yeah, no question. I didn't even realize Hamilton was in town. That's
uh-oh.
Well, I don't know if it's going to work schedule-wise, but it is. I would have to consider if the possibility was there.
Is the wife going with you?
She is not.
Oh,
she is not. So, yeah, no, it's not a bad weekend to be there. St. Patrick's Day in Chicago is not always my favorite weekend. So it's like
you don't like a lot of people and people puking on your shoes.
Yeah, like I
didn't like it when I drank. Like when I was a drinker, I hated St. Patty's Day.
And when I lived there, it drove me nuts sometimes. Just because you go to your regular bars, it's like, why is the floor sticky? Why isn't my table available? Like, all the things. It's like all these folks.
Sounds like your favorite strip club. You could say the same thing.
Oh, that's it.
C-Dubs91, why? Who do the Lions pursue now that Goff is restructured? Who fucking knows? Brad Holmes must get a great interest rate on his salary cap that he keeps or some shit. I don't know.
He gets to keep the extra money?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. He puts in one of those IRAs or the fiduciary, whatever I see a commercial for. Every other fucking commercial when you watch a sporting event is fiduciary.
Well, I mean,
these fucking transactions. It's either some sort of like illness that you didn't know was possible. Like your hand frozen solid? You might need this medication. Talk to your doctor about it. I'm like, what the fuck? What are you talking about? It's that or some fiduciary. It's like, Jesus H.
So $32 million under the cap, that clears cap space. So that it puts them. I think
need defense
under the salary cap. Yeah, I mean it's a good question. I mean they got moves. They got to make, and so
got Teddy Bridgewater.
So $40 million of that salary is turned into a signing bonus.
Of course.
Crazy. What a world. I mean, he just turned $40 million into a signing bonus.
Yeah, that's the NFL. That's why you always freak out about the salary cap, and they're like, "Oh, if we just do that and push it back to 2047, we got $40 million in cap now." It's like, "Oh, great."
The cap is just.
And what about Max Crosby? That was pretty wild, huh? The Ravens, and all of a sudden now he's got to be back at the Raiders after they just signed all of those free agents.
Do you think he's still on the market? Do you think somebody will take a shot at him?
I would hope so. I'm sure someone's been calling the offices over there at the Raiders and trying to, low ball. It's no different than fantasy football when people know you got something, offer you some shitty trades. I just don't know how all of a sudden you can keep that guy. If you made all of these moves in the offseason after you thought Crosby was not going to be there, but it's the NFL. You just go, oh, okay. Matt C. Graham, why do you keep defending the Wojcik minute? The plus minus is flawed. MSU may be able to hold it flat with him in there, but they never will go on a run and extend leads. It kills our offensive momentum. It's so frustrating because we are Trey Holloman away from a natty.
Yeah, Jace Richardson away. I don't know if you're a Trey Holloman.
God, though, I'd love to see Trey back. I mean, I know it didn't go great with NC State, but
he would be helpful.
I blame Will Wade.
I was pointing out the plus minus on that one particular game because everybody was talking about how the game just fell apart when Wojcik was in there, and in one particular game he was +3.
How excited was Couch when he saw that plus minus too? He just got on both of his social media, the Couch and the Rube and his. Oh, this would have been great to have during the show. It's like, all right, dude. Yeah. plus minus.
It was
like
shared
Matt
to me.
says,
It's shared to me by a listener and another astute basketball mind. Yeah.
Matt C, are the Lions even trying to win a Super Bowl anymore?
The most biggest Matt C comment ever. I love it.
I'm with him though. Sometimes it's like everybody has an inner Matt C. He just lets it out all the time. Matt C, Graham, did the guy you pushed down the stairs have a reflex to kick you in the junk like Fears?
Not that I recall, and it never
no,
happened.
because he'd still be alive, Matt C. If the guy had a reaction like that when Graham pushed him,
bad joke. Yeah.
I don't think it's funny.
The bit's gone too far.
The guy died.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable, and he was gay. Frank Vajner next. After Tuesday's loss, it's pretty clear that the Red Wings have a culture problem that will keep them out of the playoffs again. I'm not sure if Steve Yzerman can or even wants to fix it.
They can't miss the playoffs this year. They just can't.
Buenos tardes.
Got to play this.
It is time for the Detroit Red Wings Gambling Update.
Some morale.
With Gramanito Couch and Jason Nick.
They're still okay in the playoff race right now. I mean, they're what are they? Okay, they're on 79 points. They're tied for 6th, 7th. So they would have to fall to. I guess not that far. They'd have to fall they'd have to fall quite a bit down. They'd have to fall below 71 not to make. The Flyers are a ways back, right? So they're 8 points up on the team that would knock them out of the playoffs. I don't think they miss, but I didn't realize that was happening.
Charlie Jones next. Do you know any rituals we can do to lift the March curse from the Red Wings? The quality collapse and injury bug that arrives every March defies explanation.
I think what you should do is take your best Red Wings moment and reenact it. So for me, this would be 1997.
Like reenact it with friends?
Yeah, 1997. Watching my dad. When my dad's no longer alive, so I can't quite do it. But
Lord,
yeah, sorry, I don't mean to get this more morbid. But it's the Stevie Y blue line shot in the second round game against the Blues in double overtime, and just jumping around the living room when I was a teenager, and we weren't even big Red Wings people, but we just knew it was a big freaking deal. We were watching the whole game, and it was such an intense moment. Relive your best Red Wings moment. That's what I would say would be the yeah.
All right,
that's all I got.
Damn. Charlie Jones. That was kind of sad, though. I was thinking about you and your dad celebrating, And how much is Graham enjoying Tottenham's implosion over the past few weeks?
Quite a bit. And also making a fair bit of money. If you want to take advantage of Tottenham going down and being relegated into the championship, I would download the Firekeepers iCasino and Sportsbook app today. There you can bet on whoever Tottenham is playing each week, be it the Champions League, which they probably only got one more game in, and watch this cursed slide go down and all the 30-year-old American hipsters who aren't real fans suffer. Sorry, I didn't mean to be that mean. But you can do that by downloading the Firekeepers iCasino and Sportsbook app
Aren't
today.
all soccer fans hipsters?
No, not all.
I would say 90%.
Am I a hipster?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So you're in the 10% that's not.
Thank you.
Ralph E. I guess today's show means no remote show Friday where a chair gets busted. What Marriott property gets you guys this weekend? And any favorite bars, restaurants, pizza on the agenda?
I think I'm out by UIC in the not far from the arenas. Chicago had ridiculous hotel prices, and I didn't realize at the time it was because it was St. Patty's Day fell on this weekend. Sometimes it falls on the NCAA tournament weekend.
And Hamilton.
Yeah, Hamilton. The whole thing's just, I mean, the prices were just absurd for a while, and so it's okay.
Aren't they usually always absurd?
It just varies, and it's just so random. Like there'll be the Ears and Nose and Throat Association will be having like a conference, and every hotel's $600. It's like, what are we doing here? So, yeah, no, I have a couple friends I'm really excited to see that I haven't seen in a while. So that's something, including our friend Dan Kilbridge, by the way.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
So it's too bad you're going to be crushing tape. You won't have any time to spend with him.
I'll spend some time with Dan. Yeah.
Pumping out stories, right? Munfield Keg, though I'm sure the $401 million donation will ultimately be beneficial to MSU athletics, why does it seem like it has only been a hassle so far? Or is it that just unrealistic fan expectations? Seems like it is time for MSU to decide if it wants to have championship ambitions in football and basketball.
Well, a couple of things. I actually just wrote a piece this morning that'll be up, I think, tonight on Spartan Ventures and what is, sort of how it works, what to look for in the coming months. It starts for them. Spartan Ventures. It's officially is working. I think July 1st is when it's underway, and that's the That's the revenue driver, right? And that's going to be, and that's where $100 million of the $401 million went, not as a donation, as a separate investment. And so, I think part of the problem is, and it probably wasn't clearly explained at the time. Some of that's a little on MSU. Some of that's on writers who didn't probably understand it all and everything. It is a big moment. $401 million is a lot of money, and it will make a huge difference over time. But it's not the immediate, like, $401 million, let's break $2 million off for a defensive tackle sort of thing, right? That's not really how it's worked.
What writers fell for that? Any names?
Probably all of us.
Wow.
No, I don't know all of us. I didn't fall for that. But
you didn't fall for it?
I didn't fall for that. No, I didn't. I mean, I knew it was going to make an impact, but I didn't know how immediate, because I knew even their loftiest hopes for when it would start were the spring at one point. Like, it wasn't like Spartan Ventures was happening right now.
Did Comp get fooled by it, or?
Comp's pretty wise to that.
That's
stuff.
what I figured. I'm just wondering.
Yeah, not all of them. Yeah, not all of them. I'm sorry.
Solari, did he get fooled?
But if this many people are unclear on it, number one, it wasn't a $4 million. It was $100 million investment into the Spartan Ventures, and then $301 million MSU, mostly the athletics, and a lot of that's going to.
How much to get Izzo his second natty?
Yeah,
how much of that?
And the thing is that people aren't going to be greatly satisfied. I talked to Jay Batt yesterday about it. Is, I mean, don't get me wrong, they're doing this so they have ways to, through their media rights partners and everything, find NIL deals to do what they need to do for guys who are there. Like Jeremy Fears, part of the reason they're going to be able to keep a guy like that is because they're doing what they're doing, right? But he also will talk bluntly about the rev share is the only guarantee, and he'll talk about the words like real NIL, and I know that drives people nuts. But that's he's not an AD who is going to talk openly about blurring the lines and things like that. You're just not going to get that out of him. And don't get me wrong, I think he believes that they have to have a certain talent level in football and men's basketball to have the athletic department where he wants it, and he knows what that means. But he's not going to sit there and making promises that they're not allowed to keep.
You met Jay Batt in person or like on the phone?
In person.
Oh yeah, at his office.
At his office. Yeah.
Do you shake his hand? Like you walk in and shake his hand?
Yeah,
or
and
you just
spin on him. Yeah.
No, I'm just. I didn't know.
Yeah,
it's just weird. Okay.
Yeah. No, it is.
You're on time, right?
Him and the president. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jay Riemenschneider, kind of convoluted, but please give it a go. Would MSU rather win the Big Ten tourney by beating Michigan but lose in the Sweet 16? And Michigan goes to the Elite Eight or loses in the Big Ten title game for a third straight loss to Michigan, but MSU makes the Elite Eight and Michigan loses in the second round.
Okay.
At Grok, what's he trying to say?
It's convoluted, but I think I know it. I got it. I think I have it.
Oh, God.
The answer is the latter. Michigan State would rather make the Elite Eight, have Michigan lose in the second round, and lose Sunday. Michigan State would happily lose Sunday to Michigan if Michigan were to lose in the second round of the NCAA tournament and they were to make the Elite Eight. Because even if you won Sunday and then, Michigan State loses in the Sweet 16, Michigan goes to the Elite Eight, and if they go further than that, whatever. But, Michigan still beat you twice. Michigan still won the Big Ten. Yeah, you 100% would rather lose Sunday if you're Michigan State and have Michigan lose in the second round.
Next one from Jay. The Final Four is not on the schedule pod. Always talks about Michigan as if they are Minnesota historically. Michigan isn't a basketball school, but does have a top 15, 20 all-time basketball history as a program. Is it just hating and trolling by them, or do they truthfully not know?
I think they know. I think they're probably trolling. I don't, I've not heard them phrase it in that ways, and I do listen to them from time to time. They do a great job, but I have not heard that. That has not stuck out to me.
Matty B, does it say at all that Eli Savitt goes easy on Sharon Moore compared to MSU players involved in a tunnel fight? Well, he did try killing himself with a butter knife, so I mean, you have to.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with the Sharon Moore thing, and from the different things I've read, I don't know if it's right or wrong. I have a problem with what he did with the MSU players. Like, I thought that was shit, and so that's the problem for Eli Savitt. And look, it'll cost his political career, because how many MSU fans like Matty B, even if you agreed with everything else Eli wanted to do, you're not going to vote for him, are you? Right? So there you go.
So we have to remind people when they vote, though, because people might forget about Eli Savitt when they get in the booth, the voting booth.
MSU fans will not forget.
No?
Would you forget if you saw the name Eli Savitt?
Well, it's ingrained in my brain. I'm just saying. Mm-hmm. Matty B, is it too much to ask for media members to provide full context? Jennifer Hammond cuts up Tom Izzo's quote about Jeremy Fears saying he should be meaner and a pit bull when the full quote says it was about his defense and holding his teammates accountable. Come on, be better.
Yeah, I didn't see the clip, but that's the problem with clips, right? And it is, and it's the problem with
the
TV
hammer.
Folks. And you should give full context to a clip. Don't clip something if it's not going to be full context. Just don't do it.
Why is the hammer cutting up clips? What's she doing?
Well, maybe
I thought she was like a Lions. Like.
Yeah. Well, she was there the other day. Maybe it's a
right.
producer doing it. I don't know if she's doing it. But either way, yeah, you're right. You're 100% right on that.
The hammer. Money bag. Next.
By the way, I love Jennifer Ham.
All right. Why'd you have to make it weird? Why'd you have to throw that in at the end?
Can you fix that one?
By the way. Moneybag, you and other journalists have implied you know specific stories about tampering in college basketball. Would you ever do some more digging and do an article naming names and telling stories? There's a really interesting story to be written.
Yeah, if there was people like
if there was money in it.
Well, no, but if there were people willing to chat about it that I knew and had access to, and it would take people have to come forward, because here's the deal with that sort of stuff. I don't believe that story should be done anonymously. If you are going to go after somebody's reputation and accuse them of something, then you need to put your name behind it. And that is something that any credible journalist, I think, should think. Now, there are some who would get around that. And I guess if you had a good reason for not wanting to do it in terms of retribution, like if you had 4 or 5 assistants who are low-level assistants or whatever. But to me, if you're a head coach and you want to take somebody down for this sort of stuff, or at least ruin their rep a little bit, you ought to put your name behind it.
John Johnson next. Izzo and fans are not helping the little bro claims when we cry about tampering and Yaxel being 23. MSU got a transfer they thought would start, and he's 25. Also, this Big Ten tampering story saying it's protecting Michigan makes no sense, considering how hard they went after Michigan football.
Yeah, I don't think it's protecting Michigan. I think it's just a bad, stupid look by the Big Ten. I don't understand why they needed to even say it. I guess
how many bad, stupid looks do you need, though?
They're doing a lot. They're up there right now. And you're right on that. I mean, Yaxel's not that old. I mean, AJ Hogard and what's his name? Hunter Dickinson were like 26-year-old freshmen. Like, I don't even know why they were allowed to play in high school. Like 23, that's chump change. That kid's a baby. Yaxel's a child. No, I'm just kidding. But you're right. He's just not that old. He is not the issue in college basketball.
John Johnson, Jason, would you rather have a Lions Super Bowl or the combo of an MSU basketball title plus one other title of your choosing except the Lions? For example, I know your example. I know what you're saying. A second natty for Izzo and a Tigers World Series, right?
Yeah.
Fuck. This question stinks. John Johnson. I hate this question.
It's a tough one, though.
It's the worst because, yes, I mean, dude, Tigers World Series and Izzo second. I mean, I can't. I'm still here because of a Lions Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So I have to pick Lions Super Bowl, but I got to say, John Johnson, F you. The question stinks. They're never fun. They're either convoluted like Riemann Schneider's or ass like John Johnson's. Like, I'm not saying ass, but because this one's actually good, but it's never like, Heather Locklear in her prime or prime Pam Anderson. Like, there's never like a fun. It's got to be one part ass and one part barely ass, Anyway. All right. Alex Mayer, how in the hell could the Big Ten be against tampering? The optics of sending that letter to the NCAA is god-awful. Could something like that push Izzo closer to retirement or extend him longer in order to prove you don't have to be a part of that bullshit to win?
It's not. I don't understand why. I mean,
back to the white elephant in the room.
I
want to deal with the white elephant in the room.
I understand some of what they're saying, but they should phrase it differently. I mean, the whole thing, you could phrase it like, hey, we really think we need to find meaningful solutions to tampering, and the rules that are in place right now don't make a lot of sense. They're not catching anybody. They're not you can phrase it instead of stop doing this, stop prosecuting. You could phrase it differently, and I don't get why they're not able to do that. I'm confused.
Rug and Tub next. Graham, from your knowledge of Izzo, do you think deep down he knows this team's ceiling is in the tournament but won't admit out loud, or he truly believes they can win it all? Also, for free groovy donuts for a month, would you let the guy get revenge and push you down a flight of stairs? He's dead, Rug and Tub. I mean, we've said it over and over again. He can't get revenge.
It would depend on which donut.
The only revenge he could get, I mean, is if the family came forward and pressed charges against Graham.
For a blueberry pie fritter, I all month.
But he got away with it.
One a day, I would.
Couch is like OJ. Oh, sorry, you're still answering that?
Oh, sorry, I was just looking at the donuts. By the way, you can look at their donuts. And don't get creepy. If you go to stare at the donuts, buy one. But go to groovydonuts.com or swing by either location, 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. That's Thursday through Sunday on Lake Lansing Road in East Lansing and also in Williamston. You can order online, pick up your assortment when you walk in, or just pick a few when you get there. That's my favorite thing to do. I really love that. And then sometimes I have a little separate bag for myself that my wife doesn't know about. You too can do that. groovydonuts.com.
I'm sure she knows by now.
Yeah, that's there.
Knows all your tricks.
To the first part, I don't think, I think he knows this isn't his most talented team. He's talked about that. I do believe he thinks he's got a group that on a given day can get somebody, and he knows they're close. And from there, you just take your chances. I don't think he thinks they're probably the most likeliest of champions, but I think he's got a team he thinks is capable of being there. I think he put at the Michigan game, make somebody miserable, and he believes in himself and his staff enough in those scenarios to I think he'd like to get this group to a Final Four and see what happens. I don't believe he thinks he's got as talented a group as the top couple teams though.
Lions reply guy. Do MSU fans, who I assume most are also Tigers, Red Wings, and Lions fans, not see the irony in begging the GMs to sign every free agent while also claiming MSU do it with their guys would be more satisfying than how Michigan does it? If this is die trying, Izzo is 5.5 feet in the ground.
Well, it's different in college sports. That's the thing I would say is yes, it is nice in the pros to have.
But it's similar like when you have a need.
Right. 100%.
You need a two. You need a big. It's just like it's kind of in the same vein now.
But MSU fans want that too. They want him to go out and sign the necessary people. They just like the idea that you get to know. I mean, college sports used to have that component, and that's the reason people love it. College sports would not exist if college sports began how it is today.
But if a guy came in and was a dead nut shooter, everybody would be 100%. Behind that dude immediately, like he'd been there 4 years.
The question isn't like that. Like Kenneth Walker is beloved, right? He spent 1 year. Yeah. The question is if you had a basketball team with 4 starters who came in just for that 1 year, and they were really good, but you didn't really get to know them. It didn't feel like they were invested.
Go undefeated on the road the whole year.
I'm not saying Michigan fans are enjoying. I'm not telling you how to feel. I'm just saying I think if you do it with a group that you've grown up with or you feel are more connected to you, there's a deeper feeling about it. Yeah.
I guess is this Lions reply guy?
Yes.
Still. Do you think Brad Holmes will do any of the following in the next 3 years? Number 1, trade a first-round pick. 2, franchise tag a player and go against the player-first culture and piss someone like Gibbs off. 3, draft a QB in round 1. 4, trade Goff. 5, trade or let Laporta walk in free agency.
Man, there's a lot of things.
I would see 5. I could see letting him,
Yeah.
I love Laporta, but you can't be loyal to these tight ends sometimes that are injury prone. I mean,
can't pay everybody.
Right.
The Gibbs thing is like I would with Gibbs, you'd want to keep him as long as you can, however you do it. And it's tricky with running backs because he's good enough that somebody will pay him a little bit too. So you need to figure that one out. But he's a difference maker for you. Like Gibbs is not there aren't a lot of these running backs out there that you actually think are worth a next contract, I think, but he is one of them. And they're going to figure that out.
Draft a QB in round 1. I could see him doing that.
Yeah.
Soon.
Sure,
I mean, he took Hendon Hooker in the second or third. Trade Goff. I could see him trading Goff, obviously in the right piece. If maybe in a couple years Goff is, not as good. Anyway, so Crunch Fap Supreme next. Graham, please address Woj's ridiculous response to Petitti's ridiculous request to the Big Ten. I know you saw it. And before you talk donuts, in other words, please acknowledge the blue wall and how they are dodging the dusty rumors. Free Groovy Donuts for life if you can do it.
A lot of offers for Groovy Donuts for life. This is a hell of a show, man.
Just got to do one here.
If somebody makes that offer for you, do whatever they're asking, right? Just Groovy Donuts for life. It's one of the great things of all time.
Well, Couch is a member of the blue wall.
Welcome to the blue wall.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I mean, it is what it is. The tweet. I don't know. It's. I mean, it's what I don't know what to say here. I like Wojo.
He gets people going. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Guys like that, if you don't like what they're doing, just ignore it and hope they go away or something. I just think he knows what he's doing. Bill Pepper Jr. III. If you were using PTO during the week, which day would you take off?
You want a Monday or
Friday?
Monday or Friday.
This guy won't let me finish.
Sorry, I was so excited.
You must have a good answer.
I was like, well, I got one for here.
Good Lord. I got to Monday or Friday. It would definitely be a Monday. I mean, the Friday is already a great day because you know you're about to have a sick-ass weekend. It's the Monday that's complete ass you want to get rid of. That way you go right into Tuesday, and then it's going to be hump day, and then then you know the Friday is going to be back.
So I might make the opposite argument, though, and here's why I would make it. Number one, it would depend a little on what my Thursday looked like for Friday. Like, if you're going to get a 3-day weekend, can you get off at like 3 or 5? Like, if I got to work deep into Thursday night, I want that. Like, there's nothing like going into a weekend where you're like done early. You know, like I love that about
but that's what usually Friday is because people don't work past, 1 o'clock anymore on Fridays, right? So it's pretty much a half day that Friday. So taking it off for your PTO time, it's worthless.
People who live in Chicago don't work past 2 p.m. any day. You ever been on the roads? Like, how is this?
I was being
hour?
generous, to be honest. I didn't think many worked after noon.
I remember being so confused when I lived in Chicago. And I grew up in a state worker town and a factory town. Like, there were certain hours. Mm-hmm. You get to Chicago, you're like, why is the highway packed at 3? Lunch hour is noon to 1. Dinner time is 6. Rush hour is 5.
Thinking there.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's how it should be.
I don't get it.
Be there till 5.
But my argument for Friday would also be that Monday sometimes, like, it's great to have a Monday off, but like it sometimes feels like the week is started. If you feel like you're coming back and behind, because I don't love that. So I would go Friday probably.
All right. Bill Pepper Jr. III. Hypothetically speaking, say MSU were to pick up another solid big in the portal next year. What would you put our way too early national championship odds at?
Well, I'm sure there'll be some other good teams again. So, that's the thing. At the top of college basketball, the money.
So you're not annoyed at his question? He's already thinking about next year.
No, I
just told everybody pump the brakes and
fine
enjoy
it. We're doing a show here. I get it. I get it.
Just making sure.
I'm not actually annoyed by that stuff. I don't even know why I said I was annoyed by it because I'm not annoyed by it at all. I just lied. I think it would make them a team that was one of the contenders. I don't know how many other contenders will be there, and that would help set the odds. And I don't know how much people – like if they get a lot of guys to come back, that will – and they're really good this year, that will help set the odds. But the trick of that, too, is sometimes that stuff's set by great portal classes. And if they only need to add like one dude, then that's not a huge portal class, so that can hurt you, too. I have no idea what the odds would be. They would be one team that would have a chance.
Scotty Green's El Camino next. The Queens coach who just made the NCAA tourney called out an SEC assistant for buying courtside seats at his conference tournament to scout one of his players. Is this against any rules? If not, isn't that just the environment we live in now with college basketball?
Yeah, I don't know if it is actually. If he paid for the seats, why can't he be there? As long as you're not like going up to them after the game saying, "Hey, you want to come play for me?"
Wasn't that the point of being there?
Well, no.
So if you don't say anything, but then you're like sending them some sort of text message.
Yeah, you're just making your presence known. It's kind of like you have it in high school ball and AAUCs. There's no contact times, but you're sitting there in your Michigan State or Syracuse shirt, and they see the coach there and everything like that.
Right.
Don't love it. I think if I was the coach, I would speak up about it. If I were the other, if I was the Queens coach. But I also understand at that level, you're likely to lose guys anyway, to some degree, and I wouldn't try to fight it anymore at that level. I would be more annoyed if I were at a high major where I thought I had something similar to offer and somebody was coming in.
Scotty Green's El Camino. Who would score more points relieving fears at this point, Wojcik or Spot?
Spot does not follow scouting reports. This is the problem. He does his own thing.
Because he doesn't know. He keeps being taken to strangers' houses.
He does have a
know where his actual home is.
There's a lot of issues there, yeah. Yeah. He would be confused. If we tried to put him in a car to get to a basketball court, I don't know how it would go.
You haven't tried yet.
He did jump in the car once, and we were a little nervous. And every once in a while, I'm nervous when I'm backing out that he's gotten into the car, and I wasn't, he's outside and he's just hanging out because he likes to roll around in the driveway as cats do, And
this poor cat.
Yeah, he's got a good look.
I feel like every time you talk about Spot, I really feel like I should call the Humane Society.
No, we treat him so well.
I know, but that's like someone that doesn't want to get caught abusing a cat would say, though. To be honest with you,
I do not abuse it.
I know, but you wouldn't say it on the show.
I wouldn't talk about it. If I was a cat abuser, I would just be silent about it and do it on my own time.
I didn't say you were a cat abuser all the way. I just said it's very interesting.
It's just the type of thing you're silent about.
Feel like
like people don't talk about their vices,
Talk about golf betting.
Well, but that's different. That's a good
weed.
point. That's a good point. People don't talk about things they're ashamed of, is what I'm saying.
Okay. BPA, you said any other team would be in the same position we are with Wojcik, but Duke, Michigan, Louisville, Arkansas, North Carolina, who all lost their point guard or backup point guard for the year. Will you examine their roster to see if they have a Wojcik caliber player filling in? Spoiler alert, they don't. Maddening. I thought he was actually going to ask you to do it.
Yeah.
Come back with a report.
Yeah. I don't know how to answer. I mean, I don't know what to do with that. Some people probably have a better option. I don't know what to tell you.
All right, BPA, why isn't it extreme nepotism that we are in this spot with Wojcik? He averaged 6 minutes a game on an awful Harvard team for 3 years. Is it optically Izzo's worst move ever? Name a worse one. And from Dave Lakin. We all know Izzo can be hard-headed, but ever since Ugachukwu went down on February 6th, he hasn't adequately prepared a suitable backup to Fears. Your listeners and Jason have been screaming, like it or not, that Wojcik is not the answer. Can loyalty be a weakness?
Well, it's not his worst move. It's one of his better, preferred walk-on moves. I mean, Kenny Goins probably the best he's ever had, I would argue. But in terms of guy who was there when they needed a knee, I mean, like they didn't recruit him like Ugachukwu. Like it's not the same deal, right? So.
But you knew that you weren't going to get through the season without some sort of injuries, though. And you knew it was a possibility that Wojcik was going to be a guy that was going to have to...
He was an emergency guy. Yes, right. You're right. Yeah, I mean, there is... Recruiting a guy, though, to be a third point guard is tricky, especially if they know you have another point guard coming in next year. I guess, yeah, you could absolutely find probably, maybe you could find somebody out there who doesn't want to play but wants to be part of the Michigan State experience. I don't know. It's not an easy thing to do. They lost. I mean, keep in mind, in the same year, they lose 3 guys who could have filled in at that role. And they lost 2 who were slated as they recruited them to be back this year. And 1 unexpectedly, or sort of 2 unexpectedly, but going into the year. And it's not that I'm not saying they couldn't have done better, but Wojcik was not brought in to be needed. He was brought in to be a break glass emergency guy, right? Like that's what's happened. They had a guy break his foot, and that happens in college basketball, and most teams don't have depth to withstand every injury. They're lucky it's him and not Jeremy Fears. They're lucky it's him and not Kohler. They're lucky it's him and not Cooper. Ugachukwu, I'm saying, because that would have really decimated the year. It's not, in terms of nepotism, I mean, I would say it's more a relationship. They had this so they were able to get him. His dream was to play at MSU, and you get a guy to come in who doesn't cost you a thing, who can actually hold his own. Arguably, some people will disagree at the level. I mean, it's not a bad move. It just, they maybe should have had one more line of defense, but that's easier said than done too.
Mark Osterman next. Why focus on offense with Wojcik? When he's in, he's thrown like a fucking rag doll, and a wide open 3 is splashed. If they don't score, we don't need to score. We could be locked down on D, and any point scored is a bonus. How is this not better to be great one way than meh both ways?
So the idea is, I mean, if you went with Jordan Scott there, and there's an argument that you try that, a month ago, and you start to, it's a lot to put on Scott's plate. The point guard is a really different position at that level, and Wojcik's used to it. He knows it. He's a natural at it. He may not be at the level you want it. I don't know where to go with these. I mean, I don't know what answer you want. Do you want me to say Izzo should be fired? He screwed this up. The nepotism is great. That's it.
That would be wild.
Burned at the stake. Push him down the stairs. Let's just end it all. Like who? Why is Michigan State playing in the NCAA tournament? If Denim Wojcik's going to be around, why are we doing this?
Do you understand everybody's frustration with Wojcik, though? You understand it, right?
I mean, I understand.
You get it.
Yeah,
all right. It's a show. I mean, that's what we need to talk about.
100%. And Mark, I didn't mean to take it on you. You're like, this is the 15th question. It just happened to be the order of them. I just don't know where to go.
You know what, Mark? The stupid questions, stupid answers.
I don't know where to go with it.
You raising your voice at me, bro? Nick Martinelli has averaged 37.9 minutes played over his past 10 games and averaged 23.2 points per game in those 10 games. In the same stretch, Jeremy Fears has averaged 34.8 minutes played, which includes an overtime game. Why isn't Chris Collins playing a walk-on in favor of Martinelli to get him more rest?
Because he plays a different position. You play the point guard.
You know what, Mark?
Different.
I don't know what you want from me.
Yeah.
Start losing your shit on everybody.
Easier position to do. And good for him. Certain guys, the way they play, are better at it, right? So,
I just feel like with all the stoppages in play,
you could probably do it.
Yep.
Well, we'll see what happens in the tournament when push comes to shove.
22 years old or whatever, I feel.
Yeah. I mean,
it just seems like it would be easier.
That said, Izzo said, one of the threes they gave up in the second half, he said specifically was because they didn't get Fears out of there and he was gassed and he wasn't. You got a lot on Fears' plate. He is not. Fears is doing a lot more in a game than Martinelli is. And it's just different when now Martinelli brings the ball up sometimes. There's a lot of stuff for Northwestern. I don't mean he's not doing a lot, and it's impressive what he's done. He's also not coming off the same maybe injury, but he's not also guarding the point guard, pushing the ball on every possession. It's a different game. I guarantee if you had a miles tracker on how much that Fears runs in the game, it's more than Martinelli.
Are you wondering if Martinelli got shot? Is that what you're saying? The same injury? If you were,
we could ask it.
Yeah. Mark, why doesn't college basketball players wear GPS performance trackers during games like in soccer, so the coaches objectively know when they are tired and need to be subbed off?
They do wear those things. They look like sports bras and whatnot. They wear the same stuff. They do wear them. It's a different sport. Like you're in soccer. Don't get me wrong. It's you're just out there all the time, but you can walk quite a bit. It's just in basketball. It's at that level.
Then you have to wear a bra.
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah,
it's not great. Need to work on that technology. Tommy Carcetti, whatever, Southern Maine. I imagined Denham Wojcik as a black player. When I did, his name was Lou Rawls. Am I crazy? We had a gift card.
Tommy Carcetti just won one of the Shake Shack ones. So, but
okay.
But yeah, no, it's. Tum Tum was a better player by a fair bit.
Offensively?
Put it this way, when Tum Tum was a freshman, Michigan State was going nowhere. They were a bubble team, and that was the team that got to a Final Four, kind of unexpectedly. And they put Travis Trice on the bench for a while and put Tum Tum in at point guard, and that ignited the season. That sort of changed his energy and everything. Was he limited? Yeah. Tum Tum was a different caliber player than Denham Wojcik. But I also...
So it's Denham's time now for the Big Ten tournament to have his moment.
I also appreciate what you did there because I do think sometimes that plays a role in how we think of people.
Some dude, why are our fans so stupid? Wojcik was not the portal plan. Devine and Caleb Glenn were the plan. Put those dudes back out there healthy, and this top 8-ish team is so much better.
It helps. Yeah, and everybody has injuries. Michigan State didn't really last year. They've had a couple this year. It hasn't been bad. The real, to me, you can blame a season on injuries when your core guys go down, right? And that happens sometimes. Michigan State's main four dudes being healthy, there's no real, that's a gift. You keep that all the way through. That's what you want, and you but it doesn't mean you're not hurt a little bit by it's just like LJ Kaysen and Michigan, like that hurts him, but he's not, it's not Yaxel, it's not Merez Johnson, it's not Mara. It doesn't change them entirely from what it would if he's gone.
Some dude, have you heard of the Galesburg Triangle on I-94, just west of Battle Creek? Another perpetual death trap.
I have not. I've been to Galesburg quite a few.
Galesburg Triangle. That sounds intense. Galesburg Triangle.
You know what there is near Galesburg is you're right. There always. I remember back in the day when I lived in Kalamazoo. By the way, there was always like a 2-hour traffic accident and jam coming one way or the other. You're right. There's something there. It's not. It's not great. I don't know what it is. Yeah, it's not great.
Richard Kane, has the state of high school basketball in Michigan fallen so far that Mr. Basketball can do no better than Bowling Green?
Well, that happens some years, and talking about...
That's a great question. I had the same question when I saw Torbert going to Bowling Green. I was like, wait, what happened to Mr. Basketball in Michigan? No offense to Bowling Green or anything.
Yeah, no, there's, first of all, the talent level in the state is not consistently anywhere near what it was. And some of that's on the MHSA because Michigan loses a lot of guys because they don't have rules that allow teams to travel outside of the state and play in these tournaments where these guys want to, so they go to prep schools and other things. Some of it's just on the decline of some of the city schools and some of that stuff. But he's a really good player, but that happens from time to time, and maybe he'll go to Bowling Green for a couple years and be a guy who transfers up.
Richard Kane, what might be more painful, getting bumped from a bony ass or taking a charge from a lumpy middle-aged journo trying to dunk?
Oh, you don't want the bony ass. The bony ass sucked. I mean, the people that missed it the other day, I was just got boxed out by a guy with a bony ass that hit my crotch, and it was painful. I mean,
I wasn't saying anything because I want to cut that later, so I was letting you get it out clean.
Thanks.
Bony ass. Original Dark Mantonio. Do you agree with USA Today's top 10 men's college basketball coaches rankings?
I don't know what it is. Hold on one second. Hold on.
This is what I see. Everybody stops and they're staring at me. I got passion in my pants and I ain't afraid to show it. Show it. Show it. Show it.
So Dan Hurley, I mean, I think Hurley's a great coach. He loses his mind sometimes. Shire's a great coach too. Tommy Lloyd's doing a great job at Arizona. Dusty May. So they just picked the guys that mostly are top teams right now. Todd Golden at Florida. I don't no problems. Izzo 6 at Michigan State. Sampson at Houston. I have no issue. The problem is it's a fairly ignorant list because these guys are all great coaches, and I don't deny. But there are coaches at the mid-major level, at the Division II level, who are as good as these guys. They just are. And so what do they call them? They didn't just claim they're the best, did they? What do they call them? The top 10 coaches in college basketball. Yeah, that's total bullshit. I mean, it's our company, but it's total bullshit.
Original Dark Mantonio. Hoiberg winning Coach of the Year by Coaches and Media would be fine, but did you say you picked Minnesota's Medved second? Even before the loss to Rutgers, why did you have him second?
No, I had him third. I went Hoiberg, then Dusty May, then Medved. So that was the order. I thought he did a fantastic job at Minnesota this year, and their team got better as the year went on. I know they went out early in the conference tournament, but I thought he was – I don't know. I really think Minnesota's got something with him. And so, yeah, I like him a lot. But, no, I think it was the top two guys were clear.
Josh Inwood next. What's the story about the beef between Izzo and May? I get a sense that May is an ass, and I've heard you allude to tampering with players and the portal. Or maybe I've just heard what I've wanted to hear because I'm a Spartan. What's the real story?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's some deeper stuff there, but I think the biggest thing is you have a guy who's a little bit threatening to Izzo, who's a state rival who doesn't maybe see everything the same way as Izzo does. And last year with the rivalry, and a couple times hasn't handled things. I think not calling Izzo, like Izzo lives by an old school code, and right or wrong, it's his code. And so when with the Jeremy Fears stuff, that was a press conference and wasn't a phone call, that bothers him. And I think there's a few other things, but that, I don't know how, put it this way, Bo Ryan and Izzo did not get along for a while. And Bo Ryan was beating Izzo a lot. And by the time Bo Ryan left, those two were fast friends, right? So I don't know that things are always forever.
Kerr Putang next. Obviously, Izzo is focused on this season and a tournament run, but players are entering the portal. Do you think he's paying attention, or has the team paying attention to people moving, knowing he needs to add some pieces? Or will he not even think of that till season's end?
It's a good question because you ought to have – none of these guys are in the portal. I'm going to tell you what, Izzo is not a tampering type, even if you want him to be. He's just not going to do it. And my guess is right now their focus is entirely on this tournament, but there might be – I guarantee you they have a sense of what they will need next year by now. And so there might be guys they're keeping an eye on. They probably have a decent eye on if this guy gets in the portal, we'd be interested. I would be surprised if they don't.
Plymouth Jim next. Graham. With the emergence of Kerr Tang in recent games, isn't it time that we started the campaign to properly nickname him Poon? No, not Pooh, as a recent contributor suggested, which is grammatically incorrect. Imagine after a made three, Will Tiemann screaming Poon, followed by he got it. Poon Tang just rolls off the tongue.
He got it!
Poon!
He got it!
Poon!
He got it!
No, that doesn't work.
No.
That's weird. Skylar Verdon, I live in Florida, and the only betting app here, Hard Rock Bet, won't let you parlay golf picks together. I ask why. I am promising you I'm not going to crack the sports betting code and win money if they allow it. It is ridiculous in Florida trying to bet there. So dumb.
You have to have there's a couple apps that are allowed or whatever. They're just not.
But I think you have to be near one of the Hard Rock casinos to go in and fill something out. Kind of you have to do that in Vegas too. to use their apps. It's just
Well, in Michigan, you can use the Firekeepers iCasino and Sportsbook app, and
they need a Firekeepers in Florida, but the Seminole, they run the whole state, so you can't even get anybody else in there. Sucks. Waymo believer, can we please get Rod from the Final Four is not on the schedule to hammer Couch? Rod and Couch scheduled to hammer Couch on why Dusty is a scumbag, so we can stop making excuses for him.
Well, now we're definitely not having him. I'm not getting.
Wait, is Rod who's making excuses for?
I think am I making excuses for
Dusty? Why Dusty? Wait, what? So who's saying Dusty's a scumbag? Rod?
I think Rod. Yeah.
Okay, Rod is. You're not saying he's a scumbag.
Yeah, I think they're.
So we need Rod on to tell you that he's a scumbag. You guys hash it out. Yeah, I'm in next Wednesday, huh?
Excellent.
Way more believer. MSU fans are exhausting. We're a 2 seed, and all I see is complaining. No reason we can't make a Final Four this year.
The Michigan thing is part of it. I mean, people want. Well, there's a couple things. One, they're so close. I mean, if Michigan State was 2 or 3 pieces away, or they'd had it just wasn't there, it'd be one thing. But people can see it. It's like if Chase Richardson had stuck around, or if Trey Holloman maybe, or you just added a piece there, like they're that close. And I think people are nervous about it next year. But I think the Michigan thing is part of it too. Michigan has this 19-1 Big Ten team that's right down the road, and it's annoying for MSU fans. And so it just.
But this team has also proven that they don't really have a second scorer or someone that can give you buckets.
Well, they do.
The poor starts throughout the season. Like, I can understand some fans' frustration. If you're following this team every single game, like we do, like, I get why you would feel that way about this team sometimes.
There are elements of this team that can be frustrating. Now, there have been a lot more frustrating MSU teams that I've covered than this one, but this one, I mean, it's
we don't have time.
Yeah, we don't have enough time for all of that.
Of course you have. Mr. Benjen, kind of a dead period these days until seeding comes out. So both of you put your sports fan hat on, apparently. Which player in the 2020s on any team do you most irrationally hate?
Is there a team in the last, or a player you just hate?
Oh, Anthony Davis.
It
annoys me that he won a ring, and it makes me laugh that it was in the bubble one. So, I mean, if we're talking 2020s, that's the first one that,
That annoys you. Yeah.
I'm trying to think. You could.
Yeah, it's a good
He's
question.
always annoyed me, though, before that. But
I don't have a lot of people these days that really bother me.
It probably, it's gambling related.
Yeah, so it's unreasonable, and I'm aware of that. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a personal. Yeah,
I've gotten better at letting it go, but sometimes these golfers, man, you get a little.
There are
see their face. Like, that fucking.
There are a couple tennis players, guys who have had like 2 match points and not been able to close a match and cost me a few bucks that I've been like,
But it stops there. You don't
correct. That's it. Yeah.
DM them asking for their Venmo.
No.
It'd be funny if you did, though. Mojo Jojo, given Max Crosby's injury and the Ravens' pullback, how likely does this make him a Brad Holmes target now? My man loves lower body injuries like Graham loves pushing members of the LGBTQ plus community down the stairs.
This has gone out in the hand today. Oh, my gosh. My goodness. Oh,
let's talk about Denim Wojcik. Yeah. Let's move on from this. It didn't happen.
Back to number 10, please. Yeah. How likely is it that Brad Holmes...
Probably not likely whatsoever. Yeah. I don't know. What's this injury? They knew he had surgery. Like, I don't understand. Like, we need to investigate the NFL. Like, how did this happen where all of a sudden he goes back to the Raiders now? And, why would he be a Brad Holmes target? It would make sense, and it would be great.
But, I mean, would you give up 2 firsts for him, what they were going to... or no?
Well, not now. I mean, he's damaged goods. Yeah, what are you talking about?
Right.
We're going to talk about 1 first, and then we'll go from there. But you're not getting 2 firsts.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Mojo Jojo, favorite Chicago St. Patrick's Day memory from when you lived there, Graham? Always an insane day. Some of my best memories from my 20s.
I mean, I as we mentioned earlier, I didn't love St. Patrick's Day all the time I was in Chicago. I did love...
Mojo Jojo, did you get laid? You must have gotten laid, because I just remember in my 20s, it was always a shit show and a problem, and...
Yeah, a lot of and it was like a too warm day, so people were starting to smell bad. It was not great.
5 a.m. I'm like, why am I at a bar?
We had my wife, when she was working at the Chicago Tribune. At the end, we had an apartment that overlooked. This is like 2019, right before the pandemic. That overlooked. I was on Wacker Drive, like Columbus Plaza, overlooked the Chicago River. Pretty amazing. Yeah. But that's where they do like the green. They make the river green, and all the people are out. That was some fun stuff. Watching them do that from like high above, that was pretty cool. And Lizzie McNeil's name, I got that right? Yeah, that is the bar, and where my bachelor party was. in part, and I've been over. That I'm going to an Irish pub, a true. That's not. I guess not true Irish pub, but it's a good Irish pub on St. Patty's Day is always fun. There's some old shillelaghs, a few other places in Chicago. I've had some good St. Patty's Days. Yeah.
Scott next. Has the staff considered telling the committee that they would prefer St. Louis instead of Buffalo? Reason being, it's a Friday, Sunday site versus Thursday, Saturday. Extra day of rest after the Big Ten tournament for the starters. Michigan has elected for Philadelphia for the same reason.
I don't know if they have that much control. I mean, like, for example, Illinois will be in St. Louis, right? It's a good question if they have a preference. My understanding is Buffalo is most likely, so I don't know if they've cared to that extent, because the next week it can help you, right? If you get the extra, if you get to the Sweet 16. So I don't know that it's maybe they don't plan to be around till Sunday at the Big Ten tournament anyway, so maybe they don't care. But my understanding is Buffalo is the most likely. Nobody's told me it's a guarantee yet, but it's very likely.
Scott next. Favorite Big Ten tournament city, Chicago or Indy, from an experience and restaurants nearby standpoint?
Yeah, I love both cities for different reasons. I have friends in Chicago. It's a place that I've lived. My wife's lived. It's cool. It's not great in terms of there's nothing near the arena, which Indy's such a great event town. My sister lives there too. I probably go Indy for this event.
Now name every bar you've been to in both cities.
Let's go.
Sunshine Spartan, who will win the Big Ten tournament?
Michigan.
All right. Sunshine Spartan, would you rather be in a road trip or stuck at an airport with delays? But is it a road trip where you're stuck?
No. You're just driving. Instead of taking forever to get somewhere, you're just driving, no traffic, 6 hours.
I think I'd pick the airport, though, because you got nice rest. I mean, you're getting price gouged, but being on the road.
I'm struggling with this at the Buffalo trip right now. I don't know which I'm going to do. There's a reasonable flight, but it's like you can't get there any faster by flying it from. And
airports are. I get airports.
Sometimes.
I like a good airport.
I hate the drive to DTW. I just loathe that drive.
C. Thulis is Lord next. Will MSU hockey finally show up against Ohio State? Need some lats.
Yeah, I don't know. It's been a bugaboo for them this year. So it's a good question. Obviously it's 7:30 Saturday, second round. Single game elimination. I have no idea. It's interesting that's the matchup, and that's been such a tricky one for Michigan State. But they're going to face tricky matchups coming up. So this is it would be good for them to show they can overcome it.
Todd Trustel, would it be considered a failed season if MSU doesn't get out of the first weekend?
Yes. You've been a top 16 team all year pretty much, right? And so not to get to the Sweet 16 would feel. A failed season's strong, but it would be very disappointing for them. Absolutely.
Todd, is Izzo recruiting anyone from the East Lansing High School team?
Yes. He is recruiting Kingston Thomas.
Torbert? Oh.
Young guy, Kingston Thomas. So he's got an offer from them.
Matt Salisbury, I don't remember from earlier, but how is Oakland's big man? He just entered the portal.
I have no idea. I don't know if I don't think if he was at that level, Oakland probably would have fared better than they did down the stretch.
Matt Salisbury, at what age is it sketchy to trust a fart? As a 37-year-old, I am still good, I think. Yeah, you haven't. It was 45. Okay. So you have some years left, Matt. But yeah, I can't trust anything now.
No.
Nope.
Yeah. 50 I've heard is the real
it's over.
Line of demarcation. Yeah.
Shit in your pants. Welcome to it. Fart Soup, what's the lowest seed in Big Ten tournament history to win the whole thing and get a tournament bid?
I want to say it was Iowa. It's been a long time, but
Chat GPT that shit.
I did win some. Hold on one second.
Yeah, do the wiggle, man. I do the wiggle, man. Yeah. I'm sexy and I know it.
Come on.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
This is what I see.
I guess it was that Michigan team that was an 8 seed in 2017. So they were. I don't know. Oh yeah, the previous record was Iowa. I was thinking Iowa 2001 when I was living there in school, and back then there were fewer teams too. So out of 11 teams, Iowa was 6, Michigan was 8 out of 14, so it was kind of the same spot. But I remember that Iowa one because I won some money on it. But that's right, Michigan was 8 in 2017.
Fart Soup Couch, rank your top 3 whites since 2000, preferably basketball.
Oh, man. Just whites.
Top whites.
Period. Yeah. Basketball. Not MSU, we're just talking basketball general, huh? Well, it's the Joker. He's one of the top players of all time. Laurie Marketing. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, is Luka in that? It's all foreign guys
Jesus.
at this point, right?
Pure whites?
Not foreigners, you mean? I don't know. I mean, when did Larry Bird finish? When did?
All right. Fart Soup. Jason once said he used to frequent Omar's for lunch. Please describe that menu. Salisbury steak, pork chops, clams. Well, I've never said that I frequented Omar's for lunch. I was at a buffet because it was for my birthday, for my 21st birthday, and they had where you could get chicken fingers. They had chicken fingers, and the other time I was there was like a buffet kind of style where you went and made your own like ham sandwiches and stuff.
Oh, yeah,
and that was all I needed to see. I did not eat.
You didn't eat?
Not the buffet, the ham sandwich, because they brought the actual plate of like chicken fingers and fries to me. I know. It was a wild birthday. Hans Jurgen is my dad. My non-biological twin, Hans Jurgen's son. Why does every team shit the bed late in the season? The Red Wings were just up a goal with 1:30 left and got no points and are March swooning. Tigers took an all-time shit last year. The Lions crapped down the stretch. MSU 1-8 to finish last year. Izzo is our only hope and salvation.
Well, MSU hockey is like the top team in the country. Like, you got to pick different teams that are in your sphere. You know, I think that's. I can understand the frustration moments after the Red Wings do that, though, and that's. It's no doubt what the Tigers did in August for a while in September was just brutal.
Hans, I guess this is the real one now?
Yeah.
Is MSU playing in Buffalo, and what are your sources telling you?
Very much most likely. I mean, I guess, you could always be surprised, but I think that's most likely.
Hans, is it any way possible that Fears is accidentally kicking other dudes in the balls? It's possible.
I mean, I think it's a reaction thing. It's not like it's a habit. It's not like something he's thinking about doing, but he just does it, right? So
not premeditated. No.
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
Hans, put this absurd debate to bed. What is Denim Wojcik's plus-minus rating for the season, and what was it against Michigan? Dude was not guarding Yaxel that day.
It was +3 against Michigan. I don't know what it is for the season. But there's no question that you can do better than Denim Wojcik. I don't think that's the argument. There's no question that Izzo overstates his abilities. There's no question that if he was not white, you would think of him differently. And there's no question that is a guy who was just brought in as a walk-on, as an emergency guy, he's not that bad. It's just unfortunate the situation he's been put in, and he's become the hated guy. Somebody's always the scapegoat when there's a frustrating team or situation, and this year it's Denim Wojcik.
Please, no more Denim Wojcik questions after today's show, please. Graham's going to lose his shit, I think. Hans. Put this absurd. No, I read that. Jake Hawkins, do you think the Big Ten basketball tournament will eventually be held in Los Angeles and or Vegas?
I hope not, but I can see. I mean, Los Angeles, you got two teams out there, so I can see them doing a West Coast at some point. Do they do Vegas to appease all four West Coast teams? They're not going to go Seattle or Oregon or anything like that, or Portland. So I could see LA. I could see Vegas. I hope it's. I guess Vegas is an event town people can go to. The cool thing about tournament, the Big Ten tournament, any conference tournament, it's supposed to be. When your team wins or loses, you sell your tickets to somebody else who's excited, who's coming into town, because you want it to be somewhere that a lot of the fans can drive to. It's like, oh, our team got to the semifinals. Let's drive over there. Like you lose that component of it. And I'm not saying they haven't worked in New York and they haven't worked certain places. It worked okay in Minneapolis. At some point it'll probably be there though.
Jake Hawkins, will Divine Ugochukwu and or Caleb Glenn be back for MSU basketball next season, or do they enter the transfer portal again?
I would be very surprised if Caleb Glenn did because, he's been injured and, he came to Michigan State to play and hasn't played yet, and he's been working with their doctors, their medical people, their scout team. Like, he's going to want to play and to be part of that. Ugochukwu, I have no idea. I have no information that he's going to want to leave. Every conversation I've ever had with him, he seemed, like a nice guy who came to Michigan State for a reason. But you start to look at the sort of the glut at guards and next year and everything, and I don't know what he'll want. And he'll be healthy soon enough. It's not like it's going to linger in the next year or anything like that. So it's a good question.
The Hawk, thoughts about the Big 12 basketball tournament glass floor, and why can't the Big 10 have a glass basketball floor? Because it looks stupid.
Well,
and someone's going to hack into it and play porn.
It's awful. And somebody else said that it gave somebody a migraine the other day, and it was bad with sweat. I don't think it's. By the way, to Jake's answer, it is going to Vegas. It's in Vegas in 2028.
Wait, you didn't answer after all of that?
Sorry, I didn't have. Well, I didn't know. I had to look it up. I didn't know that they already decided it. I had this hint that they had the women's tournament is there next year in Vegas, and the men's is there in 2028. So yay.
The Hawk, how crazy was the Max Crosby trade that we all thought was official, then rescinded by the Ravens in the end? Crosby is back with the Raiders.
Crazy, man. It's weird though. It must have been weird in that building, and I don't. I mean, they must have known about his knee. My sense is they just thought we gave up too much, and we don't want to do this.
Jake, in a matchup of the two of the best TV shows ever, Breaking Bad versus The Sopranos, which one would you pick and why?
Do you have either one of those on
The Sopranos. I've never watched Breaking Bad.
Me neither.
I've watched maybe 1 or 2 episodes, I think.
And Sopranos I love, but I would put The Wire ahead of it. Shrinking today would be up in that.
All right. Jerk guy, is tampering bad? Asking for a friend.
Depends what you do, what you're doing with it.
Jerk guy, is it possible that UMAA will get a championship in football and basketball by cheating?
Well, there's no actual,
You don't have to answer.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Upper Deck Jerk guy, what's this UFA thing, and who should I be rooting for?
The UEFA Champions League.
Oh,
right?
UEFA.
Yeah, I would put a little money on Bayern Munich, maybe. That would be where my, if I was to put a little, if you're looking for a stake at the Firekeepers iCasino Sportsbook app, that would be it.
Upper Deck Jerk guy, did you ever do something that you thought would turn your partner on, but it just ended up weirding them out?
Jason?
Sex with the lights on?
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Don't
She's
want
like,
that.
what are you doing? That's what that looks like in the fucking bright lights?
Oh, beautiful, man. Beautiful.
Turn those off.
We appreciate all of you. Thanks for producing our show, as always. We appreciate our friends at Groovy Donuts. Go to groovydonuts.com today. Place your order. Some great selections available for St. Patrick's Day for this weekend. If you're going to a gathering, or if you're just home alone watching hoops, have a box of Groovy Donuts with you. I love to cut the slices up with my wife in the little bits, and it's perfect. Get a half dozen. And 2 locations, Lake Lansing Road in East Lansing, and also in Williamson, 7 a.m. to 1 p.m., Thursday through Sunday. Of course, we appreciate our friends at Firekeepers and the Firekeepers iCasino Sportsbook app. Download the app today. Bet the games we're betting, or maybe bet some other ones instead. And, of course, Front 43, Neighborhood Pub and Cask & Company Kitchen and Bar. Great place to watch hoops this weekend, next week, whenever it might be. caskandcompany.com for a reservation. We'll be back Monday. Good show, man.
Yeah, man.
Couch in the Roof.